everybody. Hello to Mr. Fernandez.
Hello, hello, how are you? Yeah, round 6 in Brazil. Famous interlock, the grid. Gotta be careful here into turn 1.
That's going to be a rivet. Races about to go. Let's do this. Safety Center, good away.
One car left on the grid.
TnB also got away nicely there. Oh, going for that first position already. Oh, Safety Center running wide. Oh, losing some big places there.
What I mentioned about the turn 1, things can go wrong very quickly.
Ooh, big time. Ooh, AD77 and DW going for it. Ooh, and AD goes on the inside with Muna also coming through strong now. DW losing 2 places there in like a corner. Yeah, just in the space of a corner, 2 places. Yo, Muna and AD is giving them the pace here. This is going to be interesting.
Muna showing a lot of pace early on. And this is his pace. I wonder if he takes the lead, if he's just going to disappear into the distance. Got a lot of speed.
I see Monet M12 is also right now on DW.
The DW's lost a bit of position. Now he's coming under threat from Monet.
Muna right with AD77.
It's a long way to go. An hour and 28 minutes.
And we're only on lap 2 now.
Just got to be patient. If you've got speed like this, all you need to do.
I still also think
will come eventually.
It's going to be also about one preserving his tires for best. Like you say, waiting for the right moment. Don't be in a hurry. It's all about the long game in these endurance type races.
We could be saying that DW's lacking pace. Maybe that's exactly what he's doing. Maybe he's conserving tires.
Probably, and of course he's known for preserving tires.
Haven't watched too many of these endurance races, but from what I do know, pit stops, you do a lot of pit stops. So conserving the tires, if you can cut a pit stop out of your race, it really works to your advantage.
Correct.
These two really going at it now.
Oh, Muna really pushing AD. And Muna already like 3 seconds ahead of DW. Oh no, looks like there's a disconnect from Nuclear Monkey.
Awesome driving at the front here. Watching DW, he has broken away from Monet. I don't know if Monet made a mistake. But he's definitely in a more comfortable third now.
Some space there now. Oh, and Muna has actually got the lead now. AD is pushing him, trying to take that position back. Ooh, these guys are very close to each other. But as I say, DW actually made some ground on those two in the front. Ooh, running a bit wide.
I think now these two battling away, just getting in each other's way a little bit, and maybe just giving DW the opportunity to pick up some time here.
Correct. Well, this is going to be interesting.
What does Muna do next? Does he keep on pushing? Does he open up a gap or
reserve those tires? So that's an interesting question. Like you said earlier, that 1 or maybe 2 less pit stops can actually make a big difference.
As well as the fuel. I mean, you conserve the fuel from lean to power. That can also come into play later on. I mean, over the course of an hour and a half, all these things will come into play.
It's all about you can also drive at their best on the worn tires later on when those tires become worn. Of course, a lot of guys, when the tires get worn, they pit. But of course, if you can stretch it further, you don't need to stop. That's where already you build up that extra time by not having to stop extra. Of course, if you can reserve fuel and you push it all the way further, wow, that would be up to your advantage.
having that extra ability to drive on worn tires, knowing how to drive on worn tires, can get you a good advantage at the end.
Correct.
But it isn't a balancing act. If the tires are bad enough that you're losing that much time,
then it's not worth it to risk
maybe
it.
the pit stop is the better option.
Correct. Ooh, and Muna spun, he's losing position. DW now going to second, Muna into third, Muna all the way down to fourth. Ooh, Muna lost some valuable positions there. AD 77 now race leader, 2.7 seconds ahead of DW.
Quite some distance, 2.7, 2.6.
DW is not giving up.
Around there.
He's hovering around there under 3 seconds, keeping his pace.
Obviously, over such a race distance, sometimes it's better to just keep that distance at 2 seconds, driving cleaner.
There we go.
And,
exactly what I want to say.
Rather than drive on his gearbox and hold each other up.
And that can also work to save those tires and stuff, where you don't need to battle the car too much in that dirty air.
You can maintain that gap by just basically driving at his pace.
That's it. And of course, keeping your pace, you never know what's going to happen. And also, if you have a little bit of a gap, if something happens where the guy in front makes a mistake, you've got ample time to actually respond to it. Driving on his gearbox, sometimes he make a mistake, you follow him.
Quite an interesting commentary today. Didn't even know we were going to be here.
Yeah, last moment.
Comes from T1 and T2.
Yeah, and we're actually doing it together tonight. Not too shabby.
Not bad for first go at it. Well, I've done this before, but nobody could hear you.
Yeah, that's the thing. But now we together, of course. T1, you T2. Now we can commentate together. TnB all sorted.
A fantastic track we're at. Interlagos.
Some rich history here.
A lot of history. Short track, 4.3 k's. It used to be a lot longer. But all GP tracks have had to be shortened.
Yeah, unfortunately the sad part, I mean, if you talk about tracks that got shortened, first one that comes to mind will always be Hockenheim. Of course, you would ever forget those long straights through the woods. Same with Austria.
I mean, the original Interlagos was just under 8 k's. It was 7.9 kilometers. It's quite a formidable racetrack, that. And like you mentioned, Austria. There was the Austria they used in the 90s, which was slightly longer than the Red Bull Ring is now. And then there was the original track, and well, that was just insane. Sad to see all the big tracks have disappeared.
Some long straights back in the day, testing the durability of those cars. I remember some Gerhard Berger at Hockenheim 1 year having to retire in one of those long straights. Man, what a mission it is to get back to the pit from there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, if you retired on the wrong side of Hockenheim, it was quite a trip. You probably just sit there till the end of the race. And
if you have to do it on foot,
enjoy the race.
You probably will only end up back in the pits after the race if you do it on foot.
Well, imagine it happens on the wrong side of the Nürburgring.
Ooh. Especially
the news.
Especially the 24-hour.
Keep a sleeping bag in the car, and if you're too far, just sleep there.
Just camp out there. DW actually closing that gap to AD just over 2 seconds now. Muna now actually overtook Mornay. Mornay looked like he made a mistake because he was actually in touch with DW. Now Muna passed him, and Muna is still like 3.5 seconds behind DW. So definitely some mistake there by Mornay.
got to keep an eye on that gap from second to third. It's currently 3.7 seconds. Munna's got a lot of clean air. You know, he's got pace.
I see the gap between position 1 all the way to 4th is only 9 seconds, 8 seconds between the top 4 cars. And then a huge gap from 4 to 5, 19 seconds.
Don't know if there was a little mistake at the front,
then,
but DW's made up a lot of ground. Just 1.1 seconds.
Ooh.
There was just maybe a little mistake.
Septic Santa at the moment still running in last position. Obviously he had a terrible start which put him way back. He's already a minute behind the lead car.
Noticed he was having a battle with Voss not so long ago, probably
Correct.
on lap 3 or 4. So he's lost a lot of time to Voss, 31 seconds.
Yeah, Voss is already 31 seconds up on him.
So serious mistake, either leaving the track or a pit stop that we didn't see.
But yeah, DW now really closing that gap to 80.
So 1.2 seconds going down the straight, heading towards turn 1. You can make up a lot of ground here in turn 1 if you get the braking right.
Yes, we did actually notice that. I was about to say that can also be why he lost some time there. The septic center is actually lagging a bit. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Shame. Internet connection never a good thing. Oh no.
I experienced that on Friday night.
Sorry Monkey, I thought as much. I wonder what happened to you. Monkey was actually a victim of the auto start glitch. Only guy it looks like who got the auto start glitch. Damn it.
I noticed there was one car that stayed on the grid.
That's actually Nuclear Monkey. So that explains why we lost him so early, because I just saw literally after the start he left. We don't want to sort these things out.
This is an unfortunate part of the game.
Yes.
It happened to, I'm sure it happened to all of us at least once.
But it's actually not the first time for Monkey, eh? Monkey had his fair share.
It's happened to me a lot more than once.
Yes.
Lost count. But I also think it's got to do with the stability of your internet connection just before the race starts.
Correct.
Because when I've had those issues, I've had internet issues. So
perhaps like a safety
1.2 seconds.
Perhaps like a safety net actually built into the game, just to maybe those guys with a bad internet connection, just to keep them at bay for the guys who want to go racing. We never know.
Well, they're just losing a bit of time to DW. It's now 4.7 seconds.
DW is keeping it steady, and little by little he's actually gaining on AD, so AD will be aware of him. Soon he will actually put AD under tremendous pressure.
Hope Minna's not having any issues. Saw him ghost, but it was very briefly. Ghosted for a couple of seconds going through a corner, but really nice livery on Munna's car.
Munna's got a nice livery as well as DW, but of course AD77 running with that standard Audi livery, that stays a beautiful car. Always been one of my favorites.
One of the things that really stands out about this game is the customization, and can really make some good looking cars.
And not to mention Monet with his purple car.
Well, I would have raced in a fully Force India livery, just about.
I noticed that you've got a pink LMP1. Ooh, Monet just hitting a bit of corner there, almost thought he lost it with that tire screeching, but now all good. Must say Monet, the colour of his car reminds me of another Monet we have here with TnB. He also loves his purple cars, of course, aka Purple Demon.
Watching the leaders, now they're coming up on Septic Santa to lap him. Seems like the car just goes.
Yeah, his car's already ghosting. There we go. DW now also know the game is set on auto glitch, auto ghost. So when you're about to be lapped, you will ghost. Now Monet will also, no, Muna will also be the next one.
Never switch it on. That's a feature. Never ever switch it on. Auto glitch. That's
no,
that's not a feature we need. We have a lot of that.
Unless it's a close battle and you want to keep your opponent at bay.
Auto glitch.
Yeah, so no, this auto ghosting is not a bad idea, especially from a leader perspective. Fast car coming to lap a slower car. Last thing you want is a repeat of what we had in our F1 race on Friday, where the car at the back actually gave the leaders a hard time, which we also saw in the recent F1 race as well. Last thing you want is these pro guys to get involved with the faster cars.
I'm sure Verstappen would have wished Ocon could have ghosted.
Ooh, Septic Center ran wide, came back on track. If there was no auto ghost there could have been contact between him and Mamuna.
It's a feature that's turned out to be a good thing for the racing.
Oh, Force now already like 45 seconds ahead of Septic Center, who's really struggling here for grip.
Really struggling to keep it on track. And then also having a problem with his connection, so you can't really see what is...
With that said, I see we actually lost Monet.
Monet has dropped out.
Yeah.
So just the 5 runners, and Septic Center seems to be struggling. He's ghosting at the moment.
Monkey, one of the best? Are you sure it's not 2 of the best? See Monkey making a comment that his choice about going to the box. Not sure if he refers to you or me. Muna now 5 seconds. Muna 5 seconds behind DW, but 42 seconds ahead of Force.
So Force having a bit of a lonely race at the moment, just riding his own race.
Not to worry, JP, I saw now you actually responded to Judgy. Judgy being curious. No, Judgy, we decided to give the GTS a bit of streaming tonight, so it's the last moment. We decided no, we will dive into the comms box, and Jonathan said why not, and both of us, here we are.
So last minute decision.
We will dive into the comms box, and Jonathan said why.
I'll not do that. Okay.
Okay, Munas.
DW again closing that gap a little bit. I saw when they left Septic Center, the gap went all the way up to 2.1 seconds.
Yes.
So he lost a bit of ground, but he's closed it again, 1.3. So
Still keeping it.
There.
Yeah, funny, huh? Agree there, Japes. Season 1 champion. First season we're doing commentary, and I actually love every moment. Much better view from the box, watching all you guys race.
It's a different point of view, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it.
I also enjoy doing this.
It would be a different story if it was all a bunch of dirty races. But there's a lot of clean driving and good racing at TnB, and it's enjoyable to watch. And if the guys get enjoyment out of it, then I have no problem doing it.
And this is what we're all for in TnB, for everybody to enjoy, have fun, and have a clean race. Last thing you want is someone coming in and mess it up for everybody. At the end of the day, everyone, even if you have a full grid, each and everyone on that grid must enjoy it.
Absolutely, the guys put in, they show some more than others, but the guys put in a lot of practice, and the worst thing that can happen is after hours of practice, a lap 1 or lap 2 incident because of something silly. So,
correct, Judgy. Sorry interrupting me, Jonathan. Correct the judge. Muna is currently in third. He actually made some good gap now. He's actually now at the 4-second mark. Just a little while ago he was over 5, but DW also making some progress now in 80. really on the back end of that Audi in front. And Muna is actually working his way back to these guys now after that early spin. Soon this is going to be a 3-horse race for that first position. We'll just keep an eye on that.
Similar scenario to earlier on in the race when Muna was fighting for first place. They were allowing the vet to catch back up, and now they're going to allow Muna to catch up if this battle carries on.
That's unfortunately one thing about battling for position. Of course, you're so close in your battle, you actually lose time, and the guy behind actually slowly but surely gain on you.
No, in F1 it plays even more of a part because you get stuck in the dirty air.
That's it, and that car's performance gets affected big time.
Following each other closely, entering the pit straight. It's 9/10 of a second.
Oof,
I'm sure he wishes he had DRS right now.
I wonder if AD is starting to feel some tire deck there. Because that's always a good test as well.
Must say he's had a fantastic race up until this point.
Well, Monkey, I would just slow down a little bit. You're a little bit in a hurry there. He's not entirely on the next yet, but yeah, he did make some time on them. I think it's more a matter of DW being on 80's neck at this stage.
Just 7/10 of a second in between those two now. Entering sector 3. Needs to get really close on that pit straight if he wants to do it into turn 1. He might just want to be careful with that turn 1 considering what we saw on the weekend.
Muna actually now got that gap under 4 seconds.
But just under 4 seconds now, 3.9 seconds, so gaining ground. And the longer this battle ensues, the more ground he'll make.
Yeah, Fossey's got some clear air. He's almost got a minute ahead of him and a minute behind him. He's got a good place to be at the moment. No one to worry about.
Gets really close in the tighter parts of the circuit, but when he gets on that pit straight, he's not quite close enough.
It's where it opened
Gets
up
to the pit straight with about a second gap. Runs wide there.
Ooh, very wide. That will cost
him. Runs wide. Just 2/10 of a second between the leaders.
Ooh, and that gap immediately opens up now to
runs
over
wide
5
again.
seconds.
DW pounces on it.
And
Ran wide for a
takes
second time.
And DW takes that
Nice.
first position. I think that's definitely a case now of tire wear that's kicking in.
And then needs to close this gap. Can't let DW get away.
Correct that, Judge. I actually agree with you. To running there on your own, you actually can put in some good times because clean air in front of you, behind you, you don't need to worry about any car close to you that you might run into or might take you out. So it's actually just let you drive.
Yeah, you don't come into any battles. You don't have to watch your mirrors. You can just drive.
Just watch here because DW already opened up more than a second to AD, so this can actually play now nicely into DW's hands. Actually pull away and open up a good gap.
Just have a look at the gap. Monitor the gap to Muna. 3.5 seconds now.
Wow,
so it's coming down gradually.
He gained. Because that gap was just over 5 seconds a moment ago, after he ran wide.
And the way DW is pulling away. If you look at the timing screen, it's just ticking up. 1.5, 1.6,
and
1.7.
actually quite quickly. So AD really struggling now.
Through every corner, he's just finding a tenth. Gap now 1.8 seconds.
It would have been interesting to see Monkey in here if he didn't have that glitch, and even Monet was actually keeping in touch with the leaders before he disconnected.
Monet now has closed that gap to the just below 3 seconds. 2.9. So he'll be on his gearbox pretty soon.
Don't be surprised to see 80 pitting soon.
Something definitely not going well with those tires. Looks
Definitely
uncomfortable.
not. He made up a bit of
to
time.
catch up.
He made up a bit of time on DW, but Muna gaining all the time.
Seems like he's pushing a little bit harder now.
But of course you
Just
must be
keeping
careful.
that gap at 1.5 seconds.
Just be careful to push
pushing
too hard on one tires.
Pushing on one tires can it can all come to an end very quickly.
Correct. Yeah, well, Monkey, there's no road running tonight. Sorry. As it is, we only got 5 runners left.
The Dick Santa's still ghosting. So I'm not sure if he's with us at the moment. Ghosting around the circuit.
And yeah, AD is going into the pitch. He decided enough is enough. Time for new rubber. And a correction, he's actually in Toyota. I thought he's in Audi. He's actually the Toyota. Some fresh rubber going on.
Quick pit stop.
So that will promote Muna to the second position now. AD also didn't put in a lot of fuel. It's more about new tires, a little bit of fuel went in there by the looks of it, but not much. Of course,
quite a quick pit stop.
It's pointless to be filling to the brim and your tires don't go the same distance as your tank, so might as well short fuel and keep them all the same.
Absolutely.
And you can actually maybe make up some time by running least amount of weight with that fuel load being reduced.
And then now closing that gap slightly to DW. Got it just below 4 seconds. It was 4.5 seconds just South Africa. 3.7. Now is the right time to push.
Yes. Coming up to
probably also got a he's obviously also got a laptop pit
and
coming
as I say it, here comes Muna into the pit.
It'll be interesting to see how much fuel he puts in, how quick will this pit stop be, and where is he going to come out in relation to
rubber going on. Fuel going in.
South African flag there on the rear of the car seems to have taken a bit of abuse. It's scratched off.
Okay, this is a long stop. He's going for a lot of fuel. He actually filled up to the top, which is a bit.
He's gone out on the super soft with the full tank.
I'm not sure I would be doing that right now because the super softs actually go off much quicker when compared to the amount of fuel you use. So I would rather short fuel and have less weight, which also makes it easier when you're on the one tires.
Actually looked for the tire compound when I saw how much fuel he was putting in. I thought he would come out on a hard tire and really.
I also thought as much.
Got it on a very long stint, and I was surprised to see the purple super softs.
Judgy, you guessed it. Again, as always, how do we know DW? Always stretching those tires.
Great to have some interaction with YouTube. Thanks to all the guys that are watching. It's fantastic.
I don't think DW might go too far before stopping because AD obviously gaining on the fresh tires. But if you think about the long game, he will obviously push those fresh tires, and once DW stops, he will be on the fresh tires. So the longer he stays out, he's actually going to make AD push his tires further into. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting as this race unfolds.
Gap at the moment between first and second is just 10 seconds. So if DW came in now, he'd lose the lead.
Correct.
That gap is coming down.
But
so,
think longer, because now he's already done a few more laps extra. So you will obviously be on newer tires a few more laps longer later. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. Still an hour to go.
You don't want to use up your tires too quickly.
Correct.
Basically on your outlap pushing, you need to conserve those tires to take you as long into the race as possible.
TW coming around now to lap Septic Santa again, who obviously unlapped him. No, I actually lie. He's actually going to lap him now for the second time. He didn't, of course, he didn't pit this yet.
Bursting around for the time being. Gap seems unmoved
now
at the moment.
Into the pit. Oh, Foster's pit crew's got some nice colour. Nice colour scheme. Red, green and yellow.
She looks a bit like a Portuguese flag or whatever mood you're in. It could be a Jamaican.
Jamaican or it's for Porra wannabe team. There we go. Even Force went slightly short.
You're saying Team Jamaica sounds more realistic than Team Portugal.
Team Jamaica sounds... it sounds like we're in a bobsleigh race. Right, awesome. Force is on his way again. 1 minute ahead of Septic Santa. Yeah, I know, Frick, I weet.
8.3 seconds.
Frick just reminding us where it is for Rasta colors as well.
Okay, so he's definitely not supporting Portugal.
Yeah, I doubt it. Now we keep doing that, yeah. Next time around you drop your Force India colors and you go for a nice Porra color livery for your pit crew. That will be fitting.
Then I might as well go Jamaica. But go for a Portuguese car with my South African flag.
Oh well, we're a Rainbow Nation after all.
On this game you can't mess with the flag. It takes the flag from the location you're playing at.
Ah, no, there goes Force. Force now left for room. We're down to 4 runners only.
Just the 4 runners and Septic Santa is ghosting. So we can call it the 3 runners.
With this rate we're gonna call it a winner by rate everybody's disconnecting.
Just under an hour remaining, 57 minutes. Down to the 4 runners, you can call it 3, but still the 3 fastest men on the track. Might still have a race yet.
Yay, Judge, big time, big time. Even Judge noticed that the DC is actually causing havoc here.
So I had an experience on Friday night with internet connection, not my internet connection, but my timing screen went insane and I wasn't able to really commentate. It's quite difficult.
I heard about your experience when tier 2. You were following a car, but with internet connection lag and stuff, you were all over the show. You didn't know where on track he was.
He was literally jumping, like not only on the timing screen, but on the track. So he'd be leading the race by quite some margin, and then I'd go to the next car and I'd go back to him to see how he's doing, and he's in a battle. He's like in between 2 cars, he's sandwiched between 2 cars and he's 7th. So I say, obviously something went very wrong there, I must have missed it, he's in 7th, and then the next lap I look and he's 30 seconds in the lead. And it happened throughout the race, like every single lap. Every time they went over the start-finish line, he would jump to another part of the circuit.
And what about And what about the pit stop where you thought he was slowing down on track and meantime he's sitting in the pits?
Yeah, and then the next thing he was going through the S's at Interlagos doing 79 kilometers an hour, and I was like, well, surely this is not Interlagos, but I said, surely this is not right. What's going on? And I saw on the timing screen that the man was in the pits, doing 79 k's an hour on the track. So yeah, there were definitely issues on tier 2, and unfortunately tier 1 we lost the video.
Yeah.
So a bit of technical issues on both sides.
we can hope just for a better connection this coming Friday. Of course, for those of you who watch the F1 as well, don't forget we will be at Baku this Friday, of course, with Tier 1 and Tier 2 now being streamed. Of course, both races happening simultaneously. Right, the gap is still coming down, AD catching DW, but not by that quick as it was before. Of course, DW not worried about that, playing the long game, pushing these tires. Of course, like what we spoke about at the start of a race, it's all about making up that extra pit stop which you don't need to take.
No, absolutely. It's all about the long game when it comes to endurance racing, and you've got to think ahead. It's not necessarily all about track position until the end.
We didn't mention a lot, but I actually noticed that Muna took out like 3 seconds from AD, and he just closed the gap even more. Muna now only 7.8 seconds behind AD. Judge, don't worry.
These races have...
Me and Jonathan will be waiting for you at the castle corner already with a couple of cold ones in the hands. We're just waiting for you to arrive. So don't worry about it.
Sounds like a plan. We actually need to get a castle corner installed here in the comms box.
Oh, that would be awesome. I think we're going to have a problem with the likes of someone like a Wazi. Wazi will never want to race again. We're going to have to lock him out of a comms box. He will always come visit.
I know, just get like a little mini bar there, you know, you can even put some castle logos on there, it's fine.
But even a mini bar, we will not be safe from Wazi. Wazi is our local BFN. Of course, if we get some Brannas in here, we're going to have a problem. But Judge is going to come on us.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Judge is going to be in here too. Comms box is going to get very crowded.
No, but I think Judge, if we could give him a brandy or two, he will be happy to just keep quiet and sip away.
So I think
DW now,
would probably be the only one
now
left
on the pit stop. Looks like he's going to go in softs.
Really stretch those tires.
No, actually no, it's actually just his tire design, Firestone with a red strip. For a moment I thought that's super soft, softs. So we'll see now, but it's going for quite a long stint.
Had just the 17 litre thing when he came in.
He filled up to the top with super softs.
So I'm sure his strategy is now he's going to take these tyres as long as he possibly can.
Correct. I mean, he already did like almost 40 minutes on that previous stint.
Whereas the other guys did around 30 minutes. So it's going to count at the end. If he can do that on each set and save 10 minutes on each set, or go a further 10 minutes on each set, he can cut a pit stop out at the end.
And he's going to be now for a faster one because he's got the fresher rubber compared to Muna and AD. Well, Judgy, you're not going to finish a lap. You're never going to start the race if we start prior to the race. So yeah. I see Judge said he's never going to finish. Judge said he's never going to finish a lap. Of course he's not. He's going to join us. He's going to come sip away.
No, we're going to have a. We'd have a very. I think we'd have one of the most interesting comm boxes on the web.
Oh wow.
We just need to invite Wazi and SAB.
We just need,
we'll have a very interesting race.
But we first need to take Judge and Wazi and just warm them up a little bit with a favorite drink before we let them loose. Then it's going to be really interesting.
Right at the end of the race, when we're reading the results, that will be when we realise that we never streamed it in the first place.
No, because we'll be already physicists.
Another one of those famous words that has come out of TnB.
Yeah, and of course if you think physicist, you think about the pig himself.
That's right, the man who's not here tonight.
The man who claims he's the man. But he's not. He's just a pig.
So more colourful way of saying it in Afrikaans, but I won't say it.
Why not? Go for it.
With my accent, it'll probably come out
Just-
sounding like the real thing.
Just do it, Jonathan. Let your hair down and go
never
for
mind.
it. Aww.
So what is so what is that? 50 minutes remaining, lap 29. So how many laps do you think we can get in here?
Well, we did like 29 now for about 15 minutes, so should be another. I think we will be just under 50, about 50 laps, just under here. See, even the judge came back say you must go for it. Just do it, Jonathan. Let it rip.
Have a go at what?
What you just wanted to say in Afrikaans, go for it. Just go for it, Jonathan. It's TnB. Nobody here judge. We all have fun together.
Nobody's yet to judge. There's literally a guy in the comments that's called the judge.
Exactly, and he's not going to judge you. He's just going to laugh. Just go for it,
In
Jonathan.
Afrikaans is a vark.
Maar hy is 'n vark.
It's a vark.
Yes.
Very creative way of naming it. Well, if any of you ever go to Portugal and somebody asks you for a fork, don't be insulted. Because in Portuguese, that's a faca.
I see
Just
Judge
saying.
came back. He said nothing wrong, so I told you he's not going to judge you. But by the way, I can give you one thing. If you take vark, and I've got something that will fit the pig perfectly. If you take vark, and you take each letter and you make actually a meaning out of it, and if you think about this actually suits the pig very well.
Yes.
'n vreeslike, arrogante, rowwe kerel.
I understood enough of that.
Yeah, and that's what the gap pig is. Although he's going to argue with you. He's probably going to go for the clean version. He's going to say, vreeslike, aantreklike, romantische kerel, but we all doubt that. I don't agree with that one.
All doubt that very much.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think anybody here on TnB will agree with that one. Only the pig himself.
But all jokes aside, he's one of the core characters here at TnB, and it wouldn't be the same without him.
Correct. Everybody here is unique, and everybody do their bit to contribute towards this. And this is why this is an awesome place to be. A bunch of fun-loving guys talk about a lot of nonsense, but you know what? I wouldn't want it any other way.
Oh, well, that's what's the difference between having a league of people who don't know each other and people who are friends. There's more respect on track.
Just while we were talking nonsense there, Muna is actually in the lead, and he's now 12 seconds ahead of AD.
I wonder if AD was either a big mistake or a
That-
pit stop. I don't think it was a pit stop.
I guess that was a mistake because it's too early for a pit stop. And DW is now
Way
under
too
3
early.
seconds. DW is under 3 seconds behind him.
He's going to close in on that Toyota quicker than he had expected.
And he actually also gained out of Muna for that as well. So DW really the man on the charge with that fresher rubber now.
And a lot of fuel. He's going to take it as deep as he possibly can.
Yeah, but Judge, if he for argument's sake is racing and trying to watch the stream, then he wouldn't have been focused about and I mean, blame us, we were talking about a lot of nonsense. But in the first place, why would he want to listen to us and race? No, that's suicide. Right,
It's actually even more difficult on this game versus F1 to notice things on track if you're not watching them.
correct.
On F1 you can still see, like, if there's a sudden change in the timing, you can quickly tune in, but
Correct.
obviously on this you can only see the timing for the car you're basically looking at.
In the front and the back, it's not like it shows you timing the intervals for all of the cars.
Doesn't show you what's happening further down
So
the grid,
you,
so if you're not
so you just have to
flicking
guess.
through the cameras.
Just have to guess and flip around and yeah, just go about it.
Fortunately, this is not Sky Sports.
Septic Santa still ghosting there.
So I'm not sure if he's with us. I'm pretty sure we're down to 3 runners.
Unless it just looks like ghosting because of he's been lapped, and maybe he's still with us. Because normally with this game, you never really see somebody ghosting where there's a disconnect. This is why we actually lost so many runners tonight.
He was lagging quite a bit in the opening stages of the race. Doesn't seem to have too much lag now.
No.
But definitely ghosting. He has been for quite some time. DW still in third. A gap now just 2.4 seconds. So it's definitely closing.
The gap between AD and Muna still steady at 12 seconds for now.
12.3, so he's holding the pace. Muna's not necessarily running away. And then DW also just keeping that 2.5 hovering for now.
I had a little birdie whistle and I hope it becomes a reality, but all about Judge joining GTS for next season. That would be a good one, having the Judge back with GTS.
I'm not sure what happened to him. Why is he
I actually agree with that.
In the comment section? He was the endurance racer.
Correct.
One who finished crazy, insane races, like a
5-hour race.
12-hour.
A 5-hour race on GTS. Out of all the runners, only 2 guys finished, and he was one of those 2. And a 3-hour race, my first 3-hour race, he was also amongst the finishers. This guy's got the ability for endurance racing. It suits him perfectly, so it would be nice to see him back. And I see the Judge actually say the same thing as me. It would be nice if they can change things around on GTS where you can actually have the option to rejoin after you disconnected, just like on F1.
Absolutely, it's also a feature that's missing from the MotoGP game. Something that they could take from F1, the ability to rejoin the race.
After the disconnect, correct.
After your connection, that the car will just ghost around until you can take control. Seems something that other games haven't picked up on.
I see AD is now under 12 seconds behind Muna, and of course as he closes on Muna, he's pulling DW with him.
That's still just hovering at 2.5. 10.5. Actually came down almost half a second there. Just have a look at Muna.
Yeah, because see that gap's now under 11. Not sure if it was a bit of a mistake or it's just good driving from AD pushing his tires again. Of course, he was the guy who stopped. He actually stopped first, so he's obviously on a few laps older tires compared to Muna.
Absolutely. The problem is if he pushes the tire too early on, he's going to have the same problem he had earlier on in the race when his tires just went away from him.
Correct.
You need to try and get to the next pit stop with your tires still in a decent condition. Otherwise you just lose so much time that the pit stop's only going to be half of the problem.
Gap now in the front is now under 10.
9.5 seconds.
And DW actually lost some time to AD, so there was a bit of a mistake there. AD now gaining on Muna and pulling away from DW. So it's also going to be about the one making the least amount of errors. Because AD earlier made a bit of a mistake.
9.6 seconds. And then 3.7 down to DW.
Yeah, which cost him, but now we're making up. And of course the guys around him now making the mistakes. So it's like even with them making the mistakes, changing the lead, that's been swapped back and forth. Everybody had a go at it.
Look at that. Muna's gone off circuit. Look at the gap. It's 1.2 seconds by the time he recovers.
Ooh, versus AD going to be right at the back of him.
He's obviously going to have superior traction coming off that last corner.
80
Look
now
at that, just
right
6
with him.
tenths. Just 6 tenths. And Muna again off track,
both of them ran
but
wide.
AD follows him right off circuit.
There's a good example of what I said earlier. If you stay so close to the car in front, you tend to follow him when he makes a mistake.
Now they both have penalties and they're trying to slow down. It's causing havoc. DW is going to make the most of this.
Here comes DW. DW now actually gained. And he actually gained more than a second on that.
Look at the gap now, 1.1 seconds, and another penalty for AD. He's going to have to slow down.
Oh, and Muna. This is now
right
going to be
on his
awesome.
gearbox.
A three-way battle for this first position.
DW now going to be right on the gearbox. And it all came down to those penalties.
Yes.
Muna's got a bit of a gap, just 1.3 seconds.
Oh, DW right in the gearbox of AD.
But his mirror's full. I think at this point, best thing to do is make sure you do the perfect line and don't look in your mirrors.
DW diving on the inside of AD, coming through. AD's gonna get the inside, try and go back. Bit of corner cutting here from AD, but he goes back to the second position.
Be surprised if he doesn't get a bit of a penalty there, but nothing's popped up on screen.
And DW now gonna have a look on the inside again. Oh, thought better of it. Better of it.
AD slammed the door a little bit, and DW said, "Not right now." He's got the pace. So
I'm not sure, Judge. Sorry, Jonathan, to interrupt, because it looks like Judge suggested possible DC for Muna, but I don't see him ghosting or anything. I didn't see him leave a room. So I think it's pretty much Muna still in the race. He's just made an error if he ran wide or something like that. Which that's where his gap went, but he's definitely not ghosting.
No, definitely not ghosting, but 8 tenths of a second. These three are really close together now.
Ooh,
just 1.2 seconds between the three of them on lap 38. So we've had almost an hour, and these three are within 1.2 seconds of each other.
So much for sitting back and have a look at the guy in front. This is all about racing for this full hour and a half.
And now this last half hour, it's a bit of a sprint race. They will still have to do pit stops.
DW now
break up the field.
DW seems to fall off a little bit from the two in front, but it can also be that he's now looking after his tires or just holding back a bit for the two in front to make a move. AD now having a look on the outside of Muna, and he's going to make it stick.
He runs wide a little bit. It's going to allow Muna to come back.
Muna coming back.
They're going to go side by side.
Oh, this is going to be a close one. And AD moving back.
Line.
AD, whoa, they right with each other.
Muna's right there.
And DW now right on Muna.
Brought DW back into it. Every time there's a bit of a battle at the front, it allows him to catch up.
Correct. And when he battles the guy in front, the one right in the front pulls away a bit. Something interesting. Oh, Muna goes deep into the corner. That will allow DW with a better drive out of that corner going onto the home straight.
Surely now onto the pit straight. He'll have the drive, he'll have the slipstream.
DW will slipstream.
Will he go into turn one?
Muna defending on the inside. Some nice defending from Muna. Oh, DW.
Ooh.
Oh, the flip back. Bit of a touch there. Because he had much better drive out of that corner compared to Muna. That's why he was so quick on to Muna.
Bit of a touch, but still right in at just 3 tenths of a second. DW's going up the inside.
Ooh,
not just yet. Muna will have the inside into the next corner.
And DW actually make it. He does it on the outside.
He's passed him.
Wow.
Around the outside.
Great stuff. Brilliant stuff. Wow. Not
think
one
that
of
would have
my,
even,
not
think
one of
that
the
would have
recommended
surprised Munna.
places. I would never recommend to pass there, not on the outside there, because you could so easily run wide and end up in the barriers. But I must
I'm
say,
sure that surprised Munna.
DW had some big car on his way.
I think that surprised Munna seeing the car come up on his
Yes,
left, because he
correct.
lost almost a second in the pass. I think
DW
it might have
now,
just put him off a little bit.
DW now sitting after 80, who actually managed to pull the gap open to 2.5 to DW now.
He's going to need that gap if history repeats itself, because
And Munna
if
now
his tires
actually
fall
decided
away,
to pit. Munna is in the pit. Clearly not happy with this set of tires anymore.
he's just falling down to third place and moving to plan B or C, whichever plan he's on.
And he's going for a long stop again.
Just 34 minutes remaining. If you go out with a full tank, you could. He has gone out with a full tank.
And if he can make these tires last, he can, because if you look at DW's time that he did on his first set of tires, that was pretty much more than half an hour.
Did 40 minutes.
So that, it's doable.
He maintains his tires 23 seconds behind the leaders, but they obviously still need to come in.
80 of course is the one on the older tires compared to the two in front. But he now opened the gap to 3.4 seconds to DW.
Now strategy comes into it. The last one to stop here is going to have the freshest tires at the end. So if you're not losing too much time, do you stay out?
DW, yeah, still, that's now 3.5 seconds, a little bit under 3.5, but yeah, in the 3.5 region. 80
so
now really putting it down the hammer.
Obviously 80's tyre is still working for him, because he's finding some pace.
He really puts down the hammer there.
Oh, and he runs wide, very wide. And that's surely going to allow DW to come back into it.
Yes, that gap is now coming down quick again. Oh, really pushing too
slow
hard.
down. He's got a penalty. He's got to slow down.
He really pushed a bit too hard there.
He has to slow down. He's serving this penalty bit by bit. That's going to allow DW to get even closer. Just 1.7 seconds. And Munna obviously 22 seconds behind this battle. He's going to be in clean air on fresh tires.
Correct. He can really push now.
And maybe by the time these two pit, he could have made up 3 or 4 seconds.
Even if he don't push too hard now, just to keep in range with him, and when they pit or so, just really push and make up time. But we'll have to wait and see how that one unfolds.
Gap has dipped to 21, so he is making a bit of ground. But these two just 1.7 seconds in it. DW just taking a little bit of time out again. Now as I say that, it goes back up to 2, so just hovering at the same pace.
2 second mark.
You see lapping at similar pace. Just have a look here.
Just over half an hour left. This is going to be a real good finish to this race. Would it be nice if there would have been more runners? That would have been interesting if you look at this. I had a feeling, even going back to Monet, I think there was a couple of more guys who would have been racy here.
Actually just looking at the lap times. The fastest lap in the race, it's set by Munna, and it's a 1:19.6. The next best is a 1:20.2.
Wow.
So he's showing a lot of pace. He's just had a bit of bad luck. Maintaining that sort of pace, you'd be well in control of this race. Still 1.8 seconds at the front. And Munna has taken another second out of this.
Yes, Munna actually slowly but surely making up some time.
So if he can get this gap down to around 16 or 18 seconds by the time they pit, he will be in the lead.
Just having a look very quickly at some lap times here, just to confirm what we just said. Muno over at 119.6, DW over 122, and then AD over 123.
So nothing in it between those two drivers.
Yeah, but Santa's off, whoever pays with some margin, but he's still hanging in there. Of course, just finishing the race, that's what it's all matters, because it's all about the points. With your opposition not scoring points, you want to score.
Gives you a great incentive to finish the race, even if it's not really going your way.
Correct. Just hang in there, it's all about the points.
Ooh, DW.
Ooh,
runs
DW
wide.
Oh, it goes on, he lost that car. Oh, so a big mistake there. Big mistake there, straight into the barriers.
Tried to come back onto the track, got into the track too aggressively, got on the grass, and then it was, he was just a passenger.
That will bring Muna now right back. Here we go, Muna coming through the same sequence of corners now. And he passed DW. DW obviously will have some damage there for a bit. Of course, he won't be able to get back up to speed as quickly. Of course, he need to make do now with what he's got. I won't be surprised if he's actually going to dive into the pits here. Actually, no, he stays out of those tires.
I was actually watching him around that corner to see if he would dive into the pits. He's chosen to stay out. Also ghosting at the moment. And it's not ghosting anymore. Well, now he's obviously thinking all about the strategy, and surely there's going to be a lot of changes. What should he do differently? I don't think there's too much he can adapt right now.
No.
Coming up to the pit window. Under 6.5 seconds ahead of DW, with DW still needing to pit.
80 now, 16 seconds ahead. But, and if he's going to push this even further, you don't need to stop at long for fuel, which is now actually playing into 80's hands here.
15 seconds, so it continues to. We all want to close this as much as possible before AD needs to pit.
That's correct.
Because at the end of the race, he's going to have the fresher tyre. Obviously, a much more comfortable car to drive towards the end of the race.
Because the fresher, the more rubber you've got left at the end, the better.
Going to have a lot more speed than the guy who's crawling around the circuit.
Correct.
The topic I can speak about. I am a professional at crawling around the track.
No, you're not that bad. You're actually a professional at something else.
Just why I'm in the combox.
No, you're a professional.
I can't drive apparently.
No, not as bad in the combox, but you are a professional at cockpit. But you're not that bad on track as you would make yourself out to be.
Who would think a salesman can talk crap?
Salesmen do it for a living, so it comes naturally.
Hey. So getting back to the race, that gap has continued to close. It's now 14 seconds. And as I say, Muna wants to close that gap as much as possible.
DW also now falling further back to Muna. Muna now got 10 seconds to DW, and of course, if all works out for him, you don't need to stop here again. But of course, he will be on that worn tyres again.
DW's tyres also worn, but the oldest tyres on track right now would be the leader, 80.
Correct.
Needs to watch that gap doesn't come down too much.
Frikkie, talk to us, man.
Give himself a lot of work towards the end of the race.
Frikkie, doe 'n chicken, doen 'n hoender en doen 'n poener en hoes bietjie vir ons.
I don't know where the judge has disappeared to.
That's what I'm trying to find out, because he went all quiet on us here.
He's giving us some extra company here in the comms box, and I think he
There we
mentioned
go.
Castle
There
Corner.
we go. He responded. How long is a pit stop taking? Well, actually, how long you want it to take. It depends on the fuel load. Because we saw AD at his very first pit stop not fueling up to the brim, and he had a quite a quick pit stop, a little bit of fuel and tire change. But of course, the guys who did the full up to the brim actually stopped a lot longer.
Yeah, no, it comes all about your strategy. I mean, if you pit towards the end of the race and you don't need that much fuel, you can go for a really short stop.
Muna running wide, but really pushing it. That gap is now under 12 seconds.
Gonna have to slow down for a slight penalty, half a second. I enjoy the penalty system on this game. You can sort of serve your penalty straight away, rather than it piling up at the end of the race for a nasty surprise.
Judge actually saying what we mentioned earlier as well. I mean, 24 seconds left, coming to the end, not much fuel is going to be needed to stop now.
So it will be a shorter stop.
Which actually plays more and more into AD's hands. Fresher rubber, not a lot of fuel needed.
How long do you think a pit stop could take? 30 seconds? If it takes 30 seconds with a lead of 10, you'll come out 20 seconds behind with very fresh rubber. It's still going to be an interesting end to this race. Don't think it's over just yet.
I was actually out actually with the lap times here.
I was thinking close to 60 because we were on 29 on about 40 minutes.
Well, Judge, to be honest with you, he fueled to the brim, and if he actually managed his tires and his fuel, Muna don't need to stop again. Only problem is he will be on the worn tires compared to the other two around him.
No, I agree with you. I don't think he has to stop again. It's just going to be those tires at the end of the race. They're going to be slippery and not fun to drive. But if anyone can handle a bad set of tires.
Thanks for the update. Was actually that DW issue where he ran straight into the wall. It was actually right at the worst possible time. His wheel actually decided to reset itself. And AD now actually going into the pits, coming in now for his last stop. This will be a very short stop.
Let's just go into the pit lane so we can see what he was almost out of fuel. So still had to put quite a bit in, half a tank. 22 minutes remaining. I'd say it's about 10 laps.
I think it's roughly about 15. So you don't need a lot of fuel anymore.
Well, AD has come out in second and he's 10, well, call it 9 seconds behind Muna, so that was a short stop.
But that's going to be fresh rubber now. He's really pushing out to get back that position on Muna.
That was a very short stop.
Oh, AD making a mistake. It looks like he's drifting. All of a sudden, that's the Toyota becoming a rally car. DW now going past.
DW goes past. And now that will be very disappointing. That's when the rubber was at its best. Needed to be getting
he runs wide again as he goes on. Oh, that really would cost him. Worked so hard to make up the time and stuff, and fresh rubber all would have been in his favor just to make the mistake there. Oh.
Was in a really good position strategically, and that's the thing with an endurance race. It's a really long race, and one critical mistake can change everything. And he's really getting close up to DW now. It's half a second in it. DW will be on the oldest tyres now on circuit, so he'll be coming into the pits, I'm sure, in the next 2 or 3 laps. And AD runs wide into turn 1.
Muna now
He'll come
actually
back
with
on
a
track, but
24 second. Muna with a 24 seconds gap.
AD was just half a second behind DW. He was on his gearbox down the straight and then into turn one. Just ran horribly wide. Obviously too late on the brakes, and it's cost him 3.5 seconds.
Oof, 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 oof.
Still got those fresh tyres.
Just under 20 minutes remaining. Looks like this actually is going to play more into Muna's hands. Correct, that was he will go to the end. Only problem is the level of wear on those tyres.
Just gonna see what the tyres look like on the last 2 or 3 laps. Been out there for quite some time. AD runs wide again. Not having a good final third to the race.
Muna now actually pushing that gap even up to 25 seconds.
He joins the circuit again. That gap to DW was 5 seconds. It's now 16 seconds, so he's lost 11 seconds.
Really losing time, yeah.
Lost 11 seconds in that spin. 12 seconds. Gap went from 5 to 17.
You will not be happy with that.
Not at all. He was in a very strong position just 2 laps ago. That gap between DW and Muna, 26 seconds at the moment. He needs to increase that gap. Actually, he doesn't. He's in a very strong position. DW needs to stop again.
DW still needs to stop, yeah. I don't see him going all right to the end with these tyres.
I don't think the tyre wear will be that bad to cover such a gap. And he's now 27 seconds behind. If you add another 20 seconds to that, got a 47-second lead. Or will he take these tyres to the end? Insanity, but I've seen it before. I've seen insanity before. Judge just saying that 80's concentration went.
Correct. Also looks like that.
And
here we go. DW now coming in for that final stop. Well, it should be a short stop. It's all about new tyres and just enough fuel to get to the end.
It's fuel for about 10 laps, I'd say. Already had 23. No, he goes out now on 55.
Yeah.
So it's a half a tank. More than I expected.
That would
took in less than AD. Comes out in third.
But he will still be right on the back of AD, seem to see it.
Just 1.5 seconds in it, and he's obviously going to have fresh rubber. Shouldn't have too many difficulties.
Nope.
But then looking up at the gap to Muna, 41 seconds. Predicted 47 or something like that, but I think 41 is just as good.
I don't want to do a curse
run away with this.
I don't want to curse for Pook, but I think this is more than enough for him. He'll be safe.
It just shows you the ups and downs of an endurance race. Muna led at one stage, worked his way down to third. Looked like he was battling with connection or something because his pace just went off. And now he's 41 seconds in the lead. With, I can't tell you how many laps remaining, but let's just say plus minus 10.
More or less.
Let's just have a look. They're lapping in the 120s.
Which is not bad for this stage of a race.
15 minutes remaining. I'd say 11 laps. Give or take. Don't trust my maths. I've got a Benoni education.
Maths wasn't my
I went to school in Benoni.
Nothing wrong with old Noni.
I actually went to school in Benoni because my parents wouldn't let me go to school in Brakpan. So we're like, oh no, that's not happening.
I probably also wish that you would turn out a Hollywood star one day from Benoni.
Yeah, no, I was like just on the edge of Benoni. You need to go further in for that. Closer to Wazzy. I had the opportunity to go to school right next door to a cricket stadium.
I would enjoy
So I watched
that.
provincial cricket right through high school. You know Willamore Park?
Yes.
Well, I went to Willamore High. We used to walk out of school, and we used to actually walk across our cricket field, and we used to walk straight
Muna
onto their
actually
practice
lost
field.
time now. Muna lost time. The gap's now under
Yeah,
40
last time
seconds.
it's down to 38 seconds.
And GW is actually closing down 80. Yeah, we're going to have some more battles. Oh, 80 runs wide.
80 goes wide.
So I was about to say you're going to see more battles.
DW almost follows him,
Oh,
goes onto the curb.
And the time penalty.
And the time penalty. He's going to have to slow down a bit, get off the throttle. It's going to allow
I don't know,
DW to come at him.
I don't know if Benoni rocks, but I definitely do know Benoni have rocks, and we know how to throw rocks.
And they have kids that bite dogs. I've seen that headline in the paper.
Yeah.
Dog bitten by child. It's like, oh no.
Right, DW pass 80, there we go. DW now shooting up in second position. 80 really not happy on Vistant.
The judge bringing up Pam Brink Stadium. So we're seeing Springs. Well, I'm sad to tell you that Pam Brink Stadium is now a truck scrapyard.
Oh boy. Judge going down memory lane again.
Fond memories actually of the Springboks playing there in the early 2000s against Argentina. So that stadium has gone one way.
Gap opened up now to over 2.5 between DW and AD.
13 minutes remaining. Really getting into the closing stages of the race.
Yeah, speaking of which, wasn't that the home stadium to the Falk at one stage?
Yes, it was at a stage, and then they had to move it to Bosman Stadium because Pam Brink got past a certain stage where they could play there, and then Bosman Stadium got too small. So
80 made a mistake. Yeah, he ran wide, terribly wide. That gap now opened up to over 7 seconds to DW. 80 really struggling. He really started struggling. But that guy's ghastly. There we go. 80. I think I'm not sure if that's a disconnect or he just decided that's it. Bugger this. This is frustrating. I also think he's had enough.
He was driving over the grass, trying to find the tarmac, and I think he just had enough.
I think this
that leaves us with just 3, with Septic Santa still ghosting. So it's all up to these two, but there's 40 seconds in it.
If he's still around, he would love these guys to now disconnect. He could actually going to go score points from nowhere.
Could have actually ghosted until the end of the race.
11 minutes to go. I think nothing funny will come from Muna now. It's all about just keeping clean and bringing it home.
Just don't go off track. Don't make any silly errors. But it's a guy that's done a lot of endurance races. He's done a lot of 100% distance in F1, and I don't think he has really concentration issues.
And 100% race in F1 is pretty much like an hour and a half endurance race.
That's pretty much the same distance. The F1 videos just seem a lot longer because we do qualifying.
Judge, please
so stop
showing us your age. You're really letting yourself look old tonight, so shh.
I must be honest with you, I do know what Pam Brink Stadium is, but when the judge starts talking, I don't know any of these people.
Funny enough, I can actually relate to the people that he just mentioned. Rob Lowe, of course, he's got one sexy daughter. Everybody know Roxy Low.
Oh, is that Roxy Low?
Oh,
Okay,
Muna
everybody.
losing. Oh, Muna, that back end stopped out there. Oh, wonderful recovery, Muna, keeping it together. I, for a moment, thought that car was heading straight to the barriers. That would have cost him some time, but I think he would rather go for the time than losing the car completely.
Well, it hasn't come down too much. He's lost 4 seconds, 5 seconds.
I'd rather take the 5 seconds than going into a barrier and slow down completely. But of course,
Oh, no,
we will
definitely.
see once they go around into the sectors now to see what's the updated time. Hey, there we go. Tire dropped even further. Under 30 seconds now. DW now, oh, there we go. Muna now actually getting another time penalty. I think DW now, seeing that, he would probably get a catch a sniff and now really pushing his car. Once a
Would have just seen, wouldn't really know what happened ahead of him, but he would have just seen a 10-second time jump.
And DW actually just had a green sector there, so he's actually up on his time. So he is actually pushing.
Taken another 4/10 out of that
Yes, there we
time.
go. DW is actually showing now purple sector.
Still 9 minutes remaining. 27 seconds now. Coming down sector by sector. Is there enough time?
So just go back to what we said earlier. Roxy Low, of course, Rob Lowe, her dad, he played for the Springboks in Western Province back in the day.
Okay.
Oh, yellow flag, yellow flag. Did Muna make a mistake, or was that perhaps just Septa Santa's ghost again? Oh, that car's really a handful. I'm not sure if he actually ghosted the stuff, but now all of a sudden that car is not. It's actually not ghosting.
If I can give my... It's ghosting again.
Where's ghosting?
Could it be possible that the car is ghosting on purpose? Could he just pause? Or,
Exactly.
well, not pause.
There it's not
Just
ghosting
press
again.
options. Just press options and leave it.
Well, if you
We'll
press,
go around the circle.
correct, if you press options, it goes into ghost mode and you can do what you want. The AI takes over. Shows you it's ghosting.
But I think if you don't drive a certain percentage of the race, you don't get your points.
And that car was ghosting for quite a long time.
It's ghosting for 80% of the race.
Oh,
and now
that
it's,
car goes off track again. Oh,
Ooh, and this could be bad.
You lose it. Ooh.
and he... Ooh, still spinning.
Oh, that was nasty.
And again, it's ghosting.
Yes.
So some weird activity there.
Yo.
Oh, wow,
Judge,
it's all over
I
the
think
place now.
more. Judge, I think that was more about a rage quit than anything else. He actually had a bad last stint, and he actually had a bit of incidents, and I think the guy just gave up. At least that's what it looks like from our point. Septic Center had a huge moment there. Gap in momentum now looks like it's stabilized between DW and Muna. With only just under 7 minutes to go, there will not be enough time to make 25 seconds disappear. Of course, that's just catching. It's going to be another thing passing.
25 seconds.
We must
The time
organize.
is coming down quickly.
Hey, we can organize cricket, boys. Only problem is I love playing more than watching. So we must do adult matches for the fun. We can go, us O'Bullies as we call ourselves lately, let's go play.
Oh, yeah, in South Africa, you can go watch a game at Centurion. It's not all about the game. It's about what you get on tap.
There we go. It's all about the good stuff they serve at the stadium. As Wazi would say,
And,
liquid gold.
Actually, the last time I was at Centurion, I had quite a laugh. There was like a group of people on the grass embankment, and they were having a competition amongst each other. And these group of people were trying to collect as many of those plastic glasses you get, and stacking them up. And eventually, when they stacked everything up, they went on that blue grandstand, and it went back about 30 aisles.
No, crazy
So
stuff.
yeah, it's a lot of beer gets drank at a test match.
I think another bunch of guys that actually will compete with us when it comes to beer drinking like that is the Aussies. Told you I told you it's gonna be golden liquid gold. Okay, gap now just under 23 seconds. Muna actually looks like he's still going at it. He's not gonna just coast till the end.
There it is.
Although I just saw
5
ghosting.
minutes remaining on the clock.
Just saw Muna
Into
briefly
the last 5
ghosting
minutes.
there. I hope this is not the start of things to come. Oh, again. Gosh, in and out of ghosting. Gap is under 22 seconds.
Just keep an eye on the gap. If he continues to, well, react like this, hopefully it's not a connection issue.
I also don't hope so, because gap is now under 21, where it shoots up to 21. No, under 21, they actually approach it 20.
19, there we go, and another penalty.
Of course
Not
you
only
will,
from
Wazzy.
Reddy.
You must actually make South Africa and TnB proud. Wazzy actually said he will show the Barmy Army how to drink.
I'll be there for that one.
I agree. Gap coming down even more now. Gap's actually dropping quite rapidly.
And I'll keep up with Wazzy very well for the
Muna
first 3
running
days.
wide again.
Again, that gap is just gonna, it's come down now
17.
to 17 seconds and
Yo.
a penalty. 6/10. Needs to slow down for those 6/10.
Not sure if Muna now just decided to slow down to get so they can go for a close finish.
Doesn't seem to have slowed down because he's still got that half a second penalty and he
Yes.
hasn't served it. It's 4/10 now. 3/10.
Ooh, under
he serves
16,
us, it'll-
under 16 seconds now.
Still got that 3/10 penalty. This could close the gap to 14 seconds very quickly.
I must say, this is actually the
Time
most.
running out.
This is the most comments I saw on one stream. Wow, we're actually approaching the 90 mark for the number of comments made. Wow.
That's fantastic to see.
Yes, the
Well,
guys
if it's
actually
approaching the
participate.
90, if it's approaching the 90, come on guys, talk. Let's make it 100. Got 2.5 minutes.
Nice to see you guys actually interacting with us and partaking in the conversation.
It's actually quite interesting that we got a good following tonight because this wasn't planned.
This was so last minute.
This was not planned. We were both in the practice lobby. We were both ready to go. And 5 minutes before the race, you were like,
If it was
whatever.
5 minutes,
And I
we
was
were,
like, I'll
we
come
were
when-
about to start that lobby and then we bailed.
Yeah, it's been an enjoyable race to watch.
I think you were a lot more than a biggie second. Gap now is actually 13 seconds. Yes, please,
Just 2
Jack.
minutes.
Keep sending those comments. Come on. Under 13 seconds. Yo. But it's only
Correct
2
me
minutes
if I'm
left.
wrong.
I think Muna did enough.
Correct.
He's just hanging on here.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when the time reaches 0, you have to finish that lap.
Correct.
That
If you're
becomes
on
the final lap.
correct. If you already started a lap, it's all about that lap. And with this rate, he's gonna have to do another lap. So it means only the lap thereafter. So there's still another 2 laps to go.
12 seconds now. I think it's going to be a little bit too much.
It's only our pleasure, Wazzy. Thank you for you guys for watching and participating and sharing those comments. 11.7. It's really only 2 guys. Oh, it's so sad. This could have easily been a 3-4 way battle. Oh, I'm gonna running wide again. Same place.
It's running wide. That gap, 11 seconds,
Oh,
hasn't really
1.4
come down, but now
penalty.
he gets a penalty. He's going to lose another second here.
Well,
That'll be a 10-second gap, but just running out of time.
Johnny, we just got a compliment from the judge of all people. We were 2 best kakpraters.
Oh, that's
Coming from
why
him.
they keep us in 2. That's why they keep us in 2 different tiers.
Yeah, because together nobody's going to beat us. Under 10 seconds now. 31 seconds, but of course there's going to be one more lap to go. Ooh,
29 seconds, just the one lap, another 4.
That looked like lag. I think there might be connecting issues there, but that's going to be the last lap. Come around to start one more lap, but this will be the last lap. So he's going to have to finish this lap.
Get this car to the end. Again, just watching the car.
Under 8.5.
3 times.
Under 8.5 seconds now.
Saw the car goes 3 times there into that first segment of corners.
Hey, 3 more comments to go. 3 more when we got 100.
Let's see this. Would this be the first time we hit 100 comments on a video? I think so.
Yes. I never saw this many comments before the stream.
And I didn't expect it on this game on a Tuesday
7 seconds. I mean, there's more life on a Tuesday compared to a Friday, I must say, looking at this. Another yellow flag.
Wazzy, you must talk with.
What stops you, Judge?
Let's go.
What stops you, Judge?
No, Judge sent the message, Wazzy, you must talk.
I saw his message, but yeah, every time he's talking, doing that. Kom, doen 'n poeneroes daarso. What's beat? I know it's beer, but what's beat? Under 6 seconds, yeah, but that would be enough. Muna's gonna do it.
Goes around now, final corner. Check
there
it.
We go, and Muna takes the win.
Muna takes it.
Nicely done,
and
Muna.
At the end of the day, he took that. At the end of the day, he took that by 5 seconds.
And DW coming over. Wow, what a race, gents! Was all about a battle of nutrition, and only 2 cars really finished it. Don't think if we can really count Septic Santa. Shame. Ah, Bonaroos, 104 comments. Yo.
Nicely done, guys.
Actually, congratulations to our finishers. Really was a battle to finish tonight.
Lost someone at the start straight away, and then just lots of connection issues.
Let's see if we can quickly get those 2 in here.
Congratulations to the guys who finished.
Yeah, let's see if we quickly get them in here. Right, here we go. Just waiting to see if they can join us.
It was a good race from start to end, and you know, I think each of the drivers at some stage had a hiccup, and they thought they were out of it, and each of them came back. It was great driving till the end. It's a bit disappointing there for AD. He was in it for the longest time, and then look, I would have rage quit at that stage. I'm pretty sure I would.
I mean, you push, and nothing works for you.
If you've been pushing and been in the top 3 for the entirety of the race, and then suddenly that happens in a sequence of 7 or 8 corners, I would flip.
Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Hello.
Really a battle of nutrition tonight. I mean, out of all our starters, there's only really 2 finishing. Yes, Septic Santa was in there, but I'm not sure how many laps he really did, because there was a lot of ghosting on that vehicle, but due to really going at it.
Yeah, he was still driving. I saw he was making mistakes there in the final lap.
Yeah, he did battle.
He ghosted for about 90% of the race, I'd say, and he occasionally showed himself. And he had one very violent spin that was very entertaining part of the race.
Muna actually
an action spin.
one quick one pull away there. DW, is that perhaps him that you sent to me now? I just got a suggestion from you for the invite.
Yeah, was he?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. this last minute stream and thought nobody would watch, and it's been our most successful stream ever.
Okay.
105 comments.
108. The judge came back with another
100
comment. AD actually had issues with his
108.
net. So the judge proves
108
us wrong.
comments.
I will have a look on the stream when Adrian disconnected, but because I think he finished 90% of the race. So then he will still get his points.
Gentlemen, quickly, Muna, from a good start, going into first position in mere corners, then losing it, fighting your way back, and in the end, still getting back in the first position and finishing the race in first. Let us have your thoughts.
Yeah.
What went down? Firstly, with that first huge spin that actually put you back several places. And I mean, how do you stay calm to recover from all of that?
Well, I mean, I hope that the vet and Adrian would battle, and they did. So that did help close the gap a little bit. But just try and do consistent laps, not trying to push 100%, but do good enough just to close a bit.
But even with DW, also at one stage, first position, going well, and I understand you had some issues there with the steering wheel reset.
Yeah, the force feedback went, so I had to go set the options again. So I couldn't turn, so the car just went straight.
Straight into the barrier as well.
It was slightly cancelled. I just got one question for Muna. Muna, how did those pits look in the race?
They were a bit blurry.
Must have been good. You pointed Kimi Räikkönen and got lost in the last corner.
Yeah, from
at the end I
40,
pushed to catch
Yeah.
Muna, but I was 5 seconds. I pushed like mad.
from
I'm sure Muna was
40
just-
seconds, 40 seconds, and that gap was only like 5 seconds when you crossed that finish line.
Our pace was good. We always, when we did the practice, I saw him in the top 5. I think was in a second of each other. So knew it's gonna be tight.
AD also in there, also had good pace, but yeah, the last stint just didn't go his way. And of course now with net issues, yeah, I can't help but to feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah, but I had good battles with him, and he's very clean. He was very clean.
Now, the
overtaking
three
was
of you,
super
all
clean.
three of you, swapping the lead, just staying with each other, and here in the last bit where the three of you were literally right up on each other enough space.
Yeah,
It really
even though
looked
there
like it was going to be a 3-horse battle at one stage, and then it's a bit unfortunate, but the guys were all similar pace.
Yeah, although a lot of people dropped out, I mean, the race stayed interested for me. I mean, anybody could take it.
Yeah.
No,
Lost Nicola Monkey on the start.
Only start glitch, yeah.
Yeah,
He stayed on the grid.
yeah, he's the only unfortunate victim there.
Yeah, nee. But anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Just want to quickly
Thanks for your
finish this.
stream, guys.
Thanks for the stream, guys.
Yeah, but well done to you guys. Was awesome watching you guys going at it. Yeah, we can have more of this.
Yeah, awesome.
anyway.
Next week, grade 2 cross.
Yay. Ladies
100%.
and gents, that
Thank you very
concludes
much.
things here. Thank you so much for joining us. Till next time.
And we'll see you when we see you.
Yes.
It'll probably be unplanned. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.